Today I want to show you some gift ideas that I'm sure anyone that is passionate about cooking will definitely appreciate them. I want to offer you something that doesn't go over $50. First item on our list is a salt cellar. I have this right next to my stove, and whenever I need some salt I just do this, take salt, put. So the main thing that I would suggest is to make sure that it can be used with one hand. That's the benefit that I wanted from this. It's really easy to use. This one has a magnet, which is really helpful. It also has an included teaspoon that you can use to add salt. Based on the taste and style of the person you want to buy, you can find a lot of variety on Amazon. And another really good alternative is to look on Etsy. You can find more handcrafted things that look a lot better. Next item on our list is a chef's knife. When it comes to knives, price range can be a bit limited. What I've been using for years is this IKEA stainless steel chef's knife. It's actually surprisingly good for the price. It's good enough and it gets the job done. They're pretty cheap. I had this for a long time. It holds its edge and it's really easy to sharpen. Definitely not the most glamorous gift that you can give. If you have someone that is maybe at the beginning of their cooking journey, maybe they just started showing that they're passionate, maybe your kid or maybe some nephew, I think it's a really good starter's chef's knife. Now that we're on the knives subject as well, my further recommendation would be a paring knife. This is actually a Japanese style petty knife, but petty knives and paring knives are pretty similar. Most paring knives maybe are a bit shorter, and the reason that I want to recommend this is because they're very versatile. You can use them to prep veggies, meat, or even for chopping in a pinch. These are definitely a lot more beautiful, so if you were to choose what would you think is a more exciting gift, it's really easy to see why this would be something that can be appreciated. You can actually find affordable Japanese-made petty knives. Most of the times it might actually go a bit over that budget, but this is something that maybe you can buy for that special someone. I think they would definitely appreciate something like this. Next item on the list is Microplane Zester. It's a really good zester and a grater, like a small grater. If you want to grate things really finely, this is your go-to thing. I use this for 90% of my grating needs, for zesting lemons, for hard cheeses, for parmesan, or for nutmeg. I've had this for 5 or 6 years, maybe even more, and it's still really good. It still grates perfectly. $12 or $15 on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Next one, I want to talk about something that can be a bit personalized, and that is an apron. No matter how careful I am, I always end up putting one spill on me. So that's why having an apron is really helpful. Try to steer away from those funny meme texts on them. Either add something that maybe relates to their name or their nickname. Avoid buying the ones that are fully made out of leather, because leather isn't really the greatest, especially in the summer. A friend who's a butcher, maybe they would appreciate the leather one. You can find a lot of variety on Amazon. You can find some really nicely made ones on Etsy. Alright, next up on my list is another utility item. I think most people don't even know that these things exist, and that's oven gloves. You heard that correctly, oven gloves. It actually has fingers. You have a lot of dexterity, you can do a lot of things with your hand, especially if you're trying to maybe grab things that aren't as easy to grab. These are still fabric, so steam can go through them, so be careful with that. This is another thing that probably they won't have around the kitchen, but if they get it, they start using it, they're definitely going to appreciate you for thinking about them. Next up is another item that is something that most people wouldn't buy it because they might think that they won't need it that often and they don't feel the need to spend money on something that they won't use, and that is a kitchen or a cooking thermometer. This is the one that I use. It's a pretty cheap one. I think it was like $10 or $15 maximum. It's sometimes really tough to actually appreciate the inside temperature of meat, so this just eliminates the guessed part of it. There's also instant read pan thermometers. Those are good as well. I just like this one because it has a lot more uses to it. So instead of having multiple ones, this one kind of does everything I need. Next up, I don't know if you know what this is. If you guessed a spoon rest or a spatula rest, then you are correct. The way this works is that you just put your spatula on it whenever you're cooking, and all the oil and dirty things just collect inside here. This way you ensure that your counter remains clean. It also looks kind of cool. And the benefit of this one is it's made of silicone, so it's really easy to clean. Again, like with the Apron, there's a lot of variety based on style. You can find ones that are made of ceramic, but also if you're looking for something that's a bit more special, you can always go on Etsy. If you also can find something that is made locally to you, it's nice when you can actually support local craftsmen. For the second to last item, It's actually something that I'm currently wearing. Some comfy shoes that you can use around the kitchen. If you have somebody that spends a lot of time in the kitchen, maybe, you know, your grandma, your mother, you have somebody that they cook because they have to, they have a big family to support, then definitely consider buying some comfy shoes that will help them. Find something that's soft enough that it can absorb some of your weight as you're walking through the kitchen. These ones are actually Birkenstock, and they weren't really that expensive because these are made out of foam material in a way. If you're looking at Birkenstock, don't buy the ones that are made out of cork. Those are a lot harder on the feet. So the last one is a more general thing. If you're not sure about any of these kitchen gadgets or tools that maybe they need it, they don't, you're not sure that they would like it, and you feel like you don't want to spend the money, the sure shot that you can always use is to give them some high quality ingredients. So that's something that everyone needs. You're always cooking, there are things that you're always using. The first thing that I would recommend is some Maldon salt. This is like more of a finishing salt. It's something that you add because you want that individual grain of salt to be there when you taste the food. Or you wanted the visual element of it, you want the texture that brings on top. Second thing that I would recommend as far as high quality ingredients, look into olive oil, find something that is from a really good source. These two are actually gifts that I got from friends that went to Greece and to Italy. Or maybe you can get something that comes in a really nice bottle that they could reuse later. Like this one is just a simple white one, but I really like the shape of it, and that's why I kept it. I just removed the branding and I just use this forever basically. And since I mentioned salt already, another thing that you can get is flavored salt. You have somebody that really likes sriracha, you can find sriracha flavored salt, truffle sea salt, rose petal salt, saffron salt. There's salt with anything. That concludes my gift idea list. Thanks for watching, thanks for sticking until the end, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.